What would you do if you were contacted by a human from the future or an alien species more advanced than us? What secrets would you want to know? I want to quote something from Mary Jo Dion. On one side are those who believe space travel is difficult work, but who go for it anyway. On the other are those who believe caring for a goldfish is, and who don't go after much of anything. Where we choose to seed ourselves on the spectrum of what's possible is what will ultimately define the size of our lives. I think this is a compelling message for human exploration of the cosmos. We all have a time limit on our lives, and even our planet. We have a good idea of when the resources will run out, but we still don't know if a mega earthquake or tsunami might kill us. Should we be waiting for global warming or a natural calamity to wipe us out? Or should we start looking for new homes out in space? Mars is an excellent candidate, but life on Mars will be of no ordinary person. Extreme temperatures and food practices will be a challenge to the most decorated of astronauts. Going back to the original question of what secrets we would want to know from aliens or humans from the future. Personally, I would want to know a faster way to travel through space. In this day and age, it takes us 2 years just to travel to Mars. A system that could potentially harbor alien life or us in the future is Trappist 1. A team led by Mikhail Gillon at the University of Liège in Belgium detected the planets using transit photometry with the Transisting Planets and Planetismals Small Telescope, hence the name Trappist. And some also say that its name is an homage to the Trappist beer. Interesting, isn't it? TRAPPIST 1 is an ultra cool red dwarf star located 39.6 light years away from our solar system. TRAPPIST 1 has approximately 8% of our sun's mass and 11% of its radius. This makes it just slightly larger than Jupiter, but its mass is 84 times of Jupiter's mass, something you would expect of a star. These red dwarf stars are the most common type of stars in our galaxy. Our closest cosmic neighbor, Proxima Centauri, is also a red dwarf star sitting 4.2 light years away, and so are 50 out of 60 stars in our closest vicinity. TRAPPIST 1 has a temperature of 2520 Kelvin, almost half of our sun's surface temperature, but is twice as old when compared to our sun, which is 4.6 billion years old. This cool temperature allows these red dwarf stars to live a lot longer, possibly for trillions of years. What makes this star so special though? When looking for stars with potentially habitable planets, scientists look for planets sitting in the Goldilocks zone. The Goldilocks zone or habitable zone is the range of distance with the right temperatures for water to remain liquid. Venus and Mars are also in the Goldilocks zone, but they are not habitable for us due to the presence of thick atmospheres, which means the heat does not escape that well. TRAPPIST 1's diameter is tiny. The entire system could fit between our Sun and Mercury with massive headroom. The furthest planet, TRAPPIST 1H, is 9 million kilometers away from the star, whereas the distance between the Sun and Mercury is 53 million kilometers. Sometimes these stars can be dubious too, as with such a small star and the planets so close together, it could mean the planets are tidally locked to the star, so one side will always be facing to the star. TRAPPIST 1 is a small system filled with 7 exoplanets named TRAPPIST 1b, TRAPPIST 1c, all the way up to TRAPPIST 1h. They are called exoplanets because they exist outside our solar system. So any planet outside our solar system, not just the planets in the TRAPPIST 1 system, would be called exoplanets. TRAPPIST 1 has 3 planets in the Goldilocks zone, 6 if you're being optimistic, but the 3 are TRAPPIST 1e, 1f, and 1g. These exoplanets are Earth sized, filled with water and other chemicals, which checks many of our requirements for a habitable planet, or should I say planets. One of the most promising candidates, TRAPPIST 1e, orbits 4.4 million kilometers away from the star. Its year takes 146 hours and it receives 60% of the starlight Earth does. The size, mass, and gravity are very Earth like and possibly the only planet with a rock iron composition like Earth. It also has a compact hydrogen poor atmosphere, which makes it hospitable and has a high chance of water pooling on the surface. These planets have better living conditions than our closest neighbors. But coming back to the time it would take to travel there. 39 light years is not a cakewalk. New Horizons, which flew past Pluto in 2015, was riding the cosmos at 32,000 miles per hour. At this rate, it would take us about 817,000 years to travel to Trappist 1. Juno, when approaching Jupiter's gravity, hit a top speed of about 165,000 miles per hour, making it the fastest human made object ever. Even at this speed, we would reach Trappist 1 in 159,000 years. One ultra fast spacecraft that could reach Trappist 1 in a much shorter time span is an interstellar mission advocated by Stephen Hawking, the Breakthrough Starshot Initiative. Yuri Milner first conceived this concept, a Russian entrepreneur, and Hawking helped launch it and served on the board of directors. Hawking's tiny laser propelled probes could theoretically fly as fast as 20% of the speed of light, or 134 million miles per hour. That's about 4,000 times faster than NASA's record breaking New Horizons spacecraft. A spacecraft that fast could travel 39 light years in less than 200 years. But that concept has yet to leave the ground. All of this means that we would need a massive change in our space travel methods to reach such systems. TRAPPIST 1 could be our next home or homes. Imagine waking up and looking at the sky and seeing other planets. We would be having an interplanetary Olympics every 4 years. Champions of the world battling it out on a host planet. Some foods or trees would only be found on a certain planet, but we all would be living so close to each other we could travel between them every day. Wouldn't that be cool? So the next time someone comes up to you telling you that they have the secrets of the universe, tell them to give you the way to travel to Trappist 1. Thank you, everyone. I hope you all understand the Trappist 1 system or know of it now. And remember, the universe is never ending, and it is the final frontier of the human species. So we need to work towards it as a team, as humankind.